Hello everybody, it is Tyler here, and today I've got some more Starcraft 2 casts. I haven't done a couple casts in a while. I've been doing some live casts as well as some Minecraft stuff. But yeah, getting back into the professional player casts here, which are just some ladder games. And I've got EGThorZaiN down here in the bottom right, a very strong Terran player to say the least. He actually won DreamHack, I believe, a couple months ago, back in April, I believe. Might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. And of course his opponent is LiquidSheth, one of the top foreigners, in my opinion at least, who really gets looked over as not being as top quality as some might say. But yeah, he's a very good player in my opinion at least. And it's going to be a very interesting ZVT matchup. And I would just like to point out ThorZain not walling off, surprisingly. Not quite sure what that's all about. Might indicate some kind of fast expansion here, but you really might as well wall off because look how close the ramp is to your main. And just taking a look at spawn locations here, would like to point out that the Terran player is extremely close to the Zerg's third Sheth here. Easily droppable. He could even like siege a tank up here and like have vision over here. And that would actually be interesting to test. I don't think that they would have it so that you can just have that vision of that, but should be interesting. It does look like Sheth's, of course, going for that hatch first. Very standard in ZVT matchup. And ThorZain, what is he doing now? Getting his gas and then actually, I'm not quite sure. I think the barracks came down first. Yeah, it must have. But he's going to have to lift this up eventually if he wants to go into getting the second gas here. There's the hatchery coming down for Sheth now. And both these players talking it up quite a bit. I'm sure they have quite a nice friendship going on. And I'm not quite exactly sure what they're saying. They were talking about streaming earlier, and now they're talking about where they're going. NASL, it looks like. Pretty interesting stuff. And looks like Sheth versus MC. Gonna be a tough matchup for him when that comes up. But yeah, now it looks like ThorZain's going for the wall, getting a Marine out here. And he does have the gas, so I mean, I don't know whether he's going to be going into a factory here or what. It does look like this Overlord, did it scout? Yeah, it sees the refinery as well as those minerals, and it does look like the barracks now moving over to the wall off. The drone didn't actually get to see anything up here at all. There's the factory coming down. Will a reactor be going on this barracks here? Because then we will most likely be seeing the reactor Hellions. What is Sheth's response though? It looks like he's getting that pull up. No gas quite yet. Not going to be getting that metabolic boost anytime soon. He does have two drones. Oh, I thought they were going to be going for like spine crawlers here or something. Not going for that though, just a bit of a misrally. The reactor is coming down now, and this SCV looks like it might go for a command center. He has enough minerals to do so, and we've got that reactor Hellion expand. Interesting though, by ThorZain not to wall off at first though. Might have been trying to fake Sheth out, thinking there was some proxy racks or something. Sheth of course did not fall for it. And there's still no gas for Sheth, just droning up a ton. Sheth has not even built a single ling, I believe. Yep, no lings on the field right now. He is getting a spine crawler just for defense though. And there's the switch onto the factory. 2 Hellions at a time now coming out. Putting some guys back in gas. Only 2 now on gas because he knows he won't need that much gas now that he's got the factory tech and everything. He needs to focus on just getting his economy up. And Sheth hasn't scouted in a while. Yeah, just getting queens. It looks like he has an idea that there's Hellions on the way or something, because the spine crawlers and queens will help out a lot for defending that. And the first 2 are already out now. Has ThorZain even scouted Sheth? No, it doesn't look like he has. He's using these primarily just for scouting. This one over here does look like it's going to spot an Overlord up here. Actually, no, it turns around immediately because it didn't see the creep at the natural. Very smart by ThorZain. He'll know that there would be creep at the natural by now. I know he's probably going to be heading over to this base soon, but there are some lings on the way. 4 lings are out. These 2 are going to get picked off by these Hellions here. Will they get some shots off on them though? No, just running away right away. Both Hellions do, or both Zerglings do go down, but this gave Sheth some time to react. Does he have everything prepared? It looks like he does some nice queen positioning, creep spread as well. And these Hellions, this one actually taking a bit of damage. Only a 1 or 2 shots though, but he does get 2 more link kills. And will these Hellions go up there or not? There's a spine crawler and 2 queens. He has to be careful here. And here he goes. He might... Ooh, he could have gone into the main. Is he going to go straight for the main? No, he actually picks up a creep tumor. Nicely done. And all in the meanwhile, it did look like ThorZain did build another command center, as well as build 2 more Hellions, and now it looks like he's getting a tech lab on that, as well as going to that siege tech. Roach Warren on the way for Sheth, not quite sure. Here it is. Ooh, nicely using those as part of the wall off, as well as these 2 Evo chambers. These Hellions won't be able to get into the main at all now, just using them to deny creep spread. Sheth could start spreading creep over to this side, but building 11 drones at a time now, he is not worried about these Hellions at all. And it does look like there are some... What's going on? What are they shooting at? I hear Marine shooting. Oh, here we are. One Marine shooting at this Overlord here. The Overlord does go down. The Hellion's not able to do anything yet because of this nice wall off, and it does look like Sheth is getting those upgrades now for his carapace. Very important to get that first as a Zerg player because it allows you to survive 1 more tank shot. But Sheth is actually, or ThorZain, I'm sorry, is doing a nice job of preventing Sheth from getting outside of his base here. ThorZain actually has an economic lead because he's got that extra command center. Sheth is forced to build a macro hatch now because he can't take that 3rd base that he wants to. 10 lings on the way. It does look like he might try and break out these Hellions here. Nicely sniping that creep tumor over there. Sheth was trying to spread creep over to the side here, and now he is doing that again. But these Hellions are just so annoying for Sheth. It does look like he's making 22 lings now on the way, trying to get rid of these Hellions as soon as his metabolic boost is complete. There it goes. He might be trying to get out here. Well, ThorZain is not focused on these Hellions. What will he do? Spreading creep over here to his 3rd. Looks like he wants a few more lings. Maybe the spine crawler down there as well. Here they come. Actually, they might be able to attack this creep tumor here. They do. Not going for the queen or spine crawler either. This drone does look like he's going to be able to take the 3rd base now. Not enough Hellions to deal with these lings. Will Sheth be able to take out these Hellions here? I feel like he could if ThorZain wasn't exactly focused on them. But all in the meanwhile, ThorZain has been building up a lot of tanks and Marines accidentally attacking his own orbital there for a second. And I'm not quite sure what he was planning to do with these lings over here. But he did manage to sneak them out past these Hellions. And the 3rd base is almost halfway on the way for Sheth. And these lings look like they want to go for an attack on the 3rd. That's not going to happen. There are a lot of siege tanks here. And that was not good. Lost a lot of lings there, actually. Wow, the Terran hasn't lost any resources at all. Well, Sheth has lost quite a bit. And he is kind of behind on his 3rd base. The Terran player did manage to get his up, and he's now muling that quite a bit. These Hellions are giving ThorZain a lot of map control. But meanwhile, Sheth has just been creep spreading and taking his 3rd. A lot of lings and an infestation pit on the way. He's really good at hiding his buildings from me. There it is, over there at the natural. I believe this Overlord spots the 3rd. Yeah, it does. And looks like ThorZain's just going for that standard Marine tank build that we see pretty often in TVZ. These Hellions still being used for map control. These lings scouting around, taking out these back rocks. Sheth is gonna want to expand over here now to help him defend, but there's a large tank, Hellion, and Marine push. No combat shield on the way, but it is almost done. He might be trying to hit a timing where that completes, but he's gonna have to wait a tiny bit longer for it. His 1 or his 2-2 for his Marines aren't quite done, but his 1-1 is. His tanks have no upgrades, but they're still gonna be able to do a ton of damage, cleaning up some of the creep now. 28 lings on the way. All he has is lings. His infestors aren't quite ready yet. He does not have the pathogen gland upgrade fully on the way. He can now build them because that upgrade is 30 seconds complete, but the lings might engage here while the tanks are unsieged. ThorZain quickly sieges those up because he doesn't want that to happen. A nice Marine scout over here. Scouts for the 4th base, doesn't find it, but that Marine scout's going to get cleaned up by these lings most likely here. Oh, because the drone's coming on the way to plant that down, but he's going to get caught by this Marine. Actually, the Marine hiding over there for some reason, not preventing the base. Queen's now spreading creep. And there's a Spire on the way, like I said, somewhere. Here it is. And these Hellions just cleaning up more and more. ThorZain has only lost either 1 Marine or 1 SCV this game. Not bad at all. These lings, a couple of them do get picked off here. So many Marines now, he's added medevacs into the composition. It looks like ThorZain is throwing down more factories and more starports. Here they are, and another command center as well. Meanwhile, Sheth is just expanding everywhere. And this force does look like it's going to be pushing out. ThorZain has a pretty big supply lead on Sheth, actually taking some friendly fire there from his own tanks on those creep tubers, not good. But he is cleaning up a lot of creep here, stimming his marines to take that out. And what does Sheth have? 68 lings on the way, 7 infestors. His +2 attack for his lings is almost complete. Needs to wait for that though, needs to stall as much as possible, just get as many units out, and it looks like there's going to be a drop. That looks like it is going to go to the third base. Oh, whoa. What has been going on? Some ling drops. I was wondering where Sheth's army was, and it looks like ThorZain is just going to be trying to counterattack here, but there's so many lings in the natural. ThorZain trying to scramble to get that cleaned up, but it does look like some of his marines and Hellions over here do get fungal. Back in the natural, these lings do get cleaned up slowly but surely by a ton of stun marines. The tanks unsieging, moving forward, but there's a huge counterattack of lings coming from the backside. Some marines do nicely spot it though, going straight into the natural. It looks like the third possibly. Some nice tanks on the high ground here do manage to pick up a ton of lings. Not in siege though, a nice wall up from here preventing all those lings. They are going to head straight into the natural though. There are so many siege tanks outside the base of Sheth, but the lings are back into the natural of ThorZain. He does have a lot of marines now. It looks like he's going to be able to clean this up. Their tanks are still sieged outside here, slowly pushing up with a couple of marines and the tanks at a time. These lings are almost cleaned up, but killing a ton of workers. How many workers have been killed by these lings? 21. Well, ThorZain has killed 0. These lings are able to push back the marines at the front line here, but there are still so many tanks in the back here just to be able to do extra damage here. Again, the lings are cleaned up here, but he did lose a ton of SCVs. But now he's going to be able to bring over these almost 3 full medevacs to help. Another ling counterattack looks like going to be going into that natural again. Meanwhile, some burrowed infestors could be planted down. Some Terrans here to do some splash damage on their own tanks. A drop of those 3 full medevacs does land here, taking out the spine crawler there. Spore crawler, will they be going for this hatchery? Looks like he's more focused on killing the units instead. Oh, the drones get massacred on their way back from that third base. The third base does fall. These lings not able to do any attacks on this third base because of some nicely placed siege tanks here by ThorZain. Lings are now gathered in the middle. They could do a flank attack on these. ThorZain realizes that, pulls his marines back to protect his tanks. And ThorZain has going to be taking this gold expansion here very smartly. He's got a nice setup here to help him defend. He's started to add Thors into his army now. 3 for his marines are almost done. He has 1-0 for his tanks. And this marine squad over here is going to be going over to take out this base, but that could leave his army vulnerable, or his marines for that matter. He only has 4 tanks here to defend these lings. And yep, he's going to be going for the marines instead. The marines do get surrounded, but there's broodlords on the field. 5 so far. A nice fungal growth landing on all those as well. And with the broodlords on the field, ThorZain might have to abandon this base. Yeah, he does, immediately realizing that he does not have the Viking count that he needs, throwing down some more barracks to try and produce even more marines at a time. He has a ton of marines here, but the threat of fungal growths is extremely huge with no ghosts on the field. There is only 1 infestor here, I believe, on the whole. There's actually 8. Where are they? They are hiding scattered across maps, burrowed wherever they are. This marine gets taken out, and it looks like Sheth's going to be retaking that third base. ThorZain moving his 4th base over here, realizing he can't take that gold. And this drop looks like it's going to be headed over to this base up here. But wow, with broodlords on the field, this is so scary for ThorZain. He's going to have to start adding more Vikings and Viking upgrades even. He only has 1 at the moment. That's not going to be good, but he does have Thors. Thors have an extremely long range, of course, can attack those broodlords very easily. And Sheth does have enough corruptors to deal with Vikings if there are any. He's making more infestors and lings at the moment as well. Very good decision making from both these players. But here's that drop we were talking about. There were no defense at all. Forced to pull all his lings away. This infestor didn't go for a fungal growth on these marines. And these marines do manage to take out this hatchery. ThorZain is moving back up into that position we've seen him in before. He might be trying to take this gold base again. If he could secure that, that would be almost game winning for him. He sees the corruptor Viking. He sees the count of the corruptors and broodlords and infestors. These drones making it back over here. And it does look like that was just a lure for ThorZain to get in position here. He really needs to siege up his tanks before these Broodlords attack. And here they come. Sieging his tanks finally, but here comes the big battle. The Thunder Ghost landing on all the Marines. Thor's attacking the Broodlords as much as possible, unsieging his tanks because they were just doing splash damage to themselves with the amount of Broodlings. Stemming for his Marines now. There's just a couple of Infestors left over. All the Broodlords fall down surprisingly because of the Thor count. 1 kill on this one, 3 kills, and none on that one, but definitely doing some damage here. ThorZain does look like he's in a great position. The sheer amount of mech units from him are just so many. Yeah. ThorZain did just such a great job with these initial Hellions here, denying the third base from Sheth, denying creep tumors, and this allowed him to build a third base command center of his own and secure a pretty large economic lead. I'd just like to go back to this moment here when Sheth did go for those Overlord drops. ThorZain was busy just sitting outside here trying to get this gold command center up while all these Ling drops came in. ThorZain did spot this, of course, and was able to siege up some tanks here and attack with some of his Marine rallies, and very smartly loaded up a medevac here to come back and help him defend against these Ling drops. It was a very smart move by Sheth to do these Sling drops. He actually managed to take out a lot of supply, a lot of production, but ThorZain also held it very nicely, not taking as much loss as he should have.